Hello folks! Well, as we travel across the country, it's hard not to notice just how weird the US states are shaped. I mean, if you look on a map and you see all these weird borders from one side of the country to another, just how different they are. Well, that's the fault of the way the state's borders were surveyed and developed and established. Sometimes it would be a natural feature like a river that formed the border between one state and another. Other times it would be a natural feature like a mountain that you'd see on the borders of Appalachian states. But out west, I guess the American government didn't really care about natural features as much then, because that's when you see a lot of straight borders. No squiggly lines, maybe a couple, but the vast majority of borders here in the West are straight lines that don't deviate that much from what the line is supposed to do. Go straight. We're gonna find that here today. In the aftermath of the Mexican-American War, think mid-1800s, around the time of westward expansion when Americans were really eyeing this land. Yeah, can you believe it? They wanted this land, sparse with vegetation. And you see nothing but a barren, dismal wasteland. Nothing but, you know, these little, what do you call them? Tiny little shrubs right along the earth with all these stones and sands and sediments. Nothing but this area. Now here and there are forests in the West, but a lot of times you're gonna see this western desert expansive land. So yes, the Americans wanted this land, and after they defeated Mexico, a lot of land was ceded to the US, notably 4 states, or the territory of what would become 4 states. New Mexico, Arizona, 2 states we've visited, but also to the north, Utah and Colorado, 2 states that we have yet to visit. So with the vast land that the Americans received, what do they do with it? Well, they turned it into a series of territories. As this land was settled more and more, the territories' borders were surveyed and developed with these 4 territories. They would all meet at one point. A lot of errors in surveying and mapping this land out were calculated. A lot of mistakes were made. People thought, okay, the point should be so-and-so distance away from where it actually should have been. But as of today, they've figured that out. They know exactly where that point is. And the point at which these 4 states, Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, all meet up is right in front of us. Little building complex behind us that I showed a bit of, now a bit closer, is a marker for what I think is America's greatest cartographic quirk. This is the only point in the US where 4 different states meet up at a border. It's pretty common to find a border between 2 or even 3 states, but 4? Now that's a challenge. But here at the Four Corners Monument, that challenge proved to be, well, possible, as it exists right in front of us. So without further ado, I welcome you all to a monument that is shared between 4 different states here in the Southwest. The Four Corners Monument. So we're right here in the middle of the plaza. So the sights and sounds you're going to be hearing are flagpoles flying and clanking against the metal. You're going to be hearing the sound of people talking and discussing different purchases all across this whole area. The outside perimeter is designed for people to sell wares and merchandise and all that. This is a tribal park, so you're going to see a lot of the Navajo and Ute people trading and selling goods. You know, looking at all the flags in my surroundings, you don't just have the state flags of the Four Corners states, you also have the flags of Navajo Nation and the Southern Ute Nation, part of Colorado, right up there. The Navajo Nation encompasses the rest of the states, Arizona, Utah, and New Mexico around this Four Corners area. You know, the southwestern states have pretty iconic flags. You're going to see Colorado with the big red and yellow sea. Above me, you saw the New Mexico Zia sun symbol, and then Arizona, the iconic sunrise, sunset flag. You know, I'm not sure about Utah though. It just seems like it's one of those blue background emblem flags. Now, up to this point, I've made a conscious effort not to touch anything, any territory across the border into the states of either Colorado or Utah, because that would mean states 34 and 35 would have more of an unjust debut. I want to give it some legitimacy, some fanfare when we do cross that border. And honestly, why not just enter Utah and Colorado right now? There's no reason to delay. Moment of truth, we got Arizona, New Mexico, and the two new states we have not been. All right, let's step foot. Colorado, number 34, the Centennial State, and Utah. Number 35, the Beehive State. Isn't this magical, you all? We have just gone to our 35th state, 2 states in a row, only here at the Four Corners Monument. So if you wanted to know what the exact center was, this is it. Right there, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico. What a wonder this monument is. So now we can walk through both Colorado and Utah, knowing that our debut into these states was well worth it. This is definitely worth a drive if you can figure out how to drive here. It's in the middle of nowhere, but yet it is a nationally known tourist attraction. As simplistic as this monument park is, it wasn't always like this. Back in 1899, that's when it was first constructed, and it was nothing more than just a little metal plaque or an obelisk or something, just to indicate, here's where the Four Corners lie. And then through the decades, through the years, through the generations, people realized we should make this into more than just a marker. Let's make it a tourist attraction. And now it has the prestige of a nationally toured attraction. People all over the country come here. Or more likely, if people go to the Southeast for more popular attractions, they definitely will stop by here. Now when you come to Four Corners, don't expect a hotel for your lodging needs. You're gonna have to drive somewhere else for a good night's sleep. Once you travel through here, stop by, yeah, you gotta get out by nightfall. But even though it has little infrastructure and few services, it's an attraction that holds national prestige and significance. I would totally recommend a visit here to Four Corners. I mean, this is what is literally outside of that little plaza. It is just that, and then outside, you just get nothing. Nothing but desert for miles and miles. Yeah, just trying to give you a good picture of just how isolated this little place is. You got the flags, you got the little stands for the shops, a small little impromptu parking lot, and that's it. Nothing else. We are in the wilderness. If someone got lost here, good luck to that poor fella. But that's literally all I can show for you right now. There's nothing else. So I have no choice but to close this video out in a nice, lighthearted mood appreciating that we get to go to 2 states, 2 new states, in just one video. I mean, technically, in this one video, we've been to 4. I think that's a record. We've gone to places like Bristol, Virginia, Tennessee, where it's 2 states at once, but can you do 4 states in a mere span of a few minutes? Only at 4 corners. So here, either, I'm not sure whether I'm on the Utah or Colorado side. Actually, I mixed it up with the hands. Utah, Colorado. Not sure which part I am. Maybe I'm straddling the border right now. More travels to come. I will see you at the next location.